Today is the start of the first FUT Champions final, also known as the Weekend League in FIFA 22. If you're not sure how FUT Champions works this year, we will be running through everything, and for those of you who are competing, at the end of this video we have some tips that will help you get some more wins. But before I do get into the video, if you enjoy the content that we're delivering here on a weekly basis, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Every single week you are getting the latest news and the latest tutorials so that you can get the most out of Ultimate Team. If you want to take it a step further, there is a link in the description down below which will take you over to the second YouTube channel. Over there, we're not playing FIFA, but we are playing a variety of different games. So if that does interest you, a link can be found in the description down below. And getting back into the video, FUT Champions is not new. We've had this for the last couple of years within FIFA, but every single year, EA makes changes to it to make it a bit better for the community. This year, for the Weekend League itself, you play less games, but it does mean that you need to play more games during the week. This change has confused a lot of players this year. They actually see it as a completely different game mode that you need to go through just so that you can go into the Weekend League, when that is not true. So let's actually explain everything before we actually go through the tips. The first thing that you need to do if you're not qualified is to go through division rivals. You need to start by going through division rivals to get qualification points. This is the exact same of what we've had in previous years. You used to go through division rival matches, and at the end of the match you would be given qualification points. It is the exact same in this year. The only difference is that in previous years you've needed 2,000 points to qualify for the Weekend League. This year in FIFA 22, you need 1,500. If you've only just started Ultimate Team and you're still in Division 10, this might sound incredibly difficult. This is because at the end of your matches, every time that you get a win, you'll only be rewarded with 20 qualification points. This would mean that you would need to play 75 games just for you to get the 1,500 points. But the good news is that as you qualify and progress through division rivals and go up the ranks into different divisions, it will also give you more points per win. If you can get yourself all the way to Division 5, it will give you 65 points per win, and if you go all the way to the likes of Division 1, you'll get 500 points per win. It's just that initial starting when getting first into Ultimate Team, that's the most difficult point. Once you do get 1,500 qualification points, you can start FUT Champions. This year, FUT Champions is broken into two separate stages. The first stage is the Champions Play-offs. For the playoffs, you have 9 games. Each game will give you points. It's either 4 points for a win or 1 point for a loss. The more games you win, the more points you get. The more points you get, the higher the rank you'll receive and the better reward you'll get at the end. So just like most game modes, you're aiming to get as many wins as possible, as it's going to be giving you a much higher payout. In total, there are 4 different ranks that you can achieve, with each of them giving you a different reward. Some of these rewards are tradable, others are untradable, but all of them are on top of what you get from division rivals. You'll notice when looking at the menu that rank 2 has an icon which is different to every other rank. This is the overall goal of the Champions Playoff. If you reach rank 2, you will receive a qualification token that can be used to enter into the Champions Final, which is the Weekend League. If you do not reach rank 2, you will not receive a qualification token, and this means that you'll have to go all the way back to division rivals to build up those 1,500 qualification points again so that you can enter into the Champions Playoffs for a second time and attempt to go and get that qualification token. And this is the point which confuses a lot of players. Players are now seeing the Champions Playoff as just a game mode to qualify for FUT Champions, when in actual fact that's not true. The Champions Playoff is FUT Champions. It's just that this year is broken into 2 stages. 2 stages so you don't need to play as many games on the weekend. Instead, you can play 9 games whenever you want. It could be during the week or it could be on the weekend. But whenever you play those 9 games, if you're good enough, you will then go to the next stage, which is the second stage of FUT Champions. This is the Weekend League, and this is where you'll play additional games to get additional rewards on what you've got on the Champions Playoff. So once you get to rank 2 or beyond, you will be given a qualification token. That qualification token can be redeemed to enter into the Champions Final. With the Champions Final, it's the exact same premise as the playoffs. The only difference now is that you have 20 matches to go through, with there being more ranks and better rewards. With each win that you'll get 4 points, and every loss will give you 1 point. The more games you win, the more points you get. The more points you get, the higher the rank you'll receive, the better rewards you'll get. all exactly the same. And despite how frustrating and how sweaty this game mode could be, I'd really recommend going through it. This year with FIFA, it's more rewarding than ever because you're rewarded for losing. It might not be a crazy amount with only getting 1 point, but when we look at the ranks, we could see that you can lose every single game and you'll still be rewarded fairly well. So with the lowest rank at rank 6, which only requires you to get 8 points, you'll get 1 player pick, 2 jumbo premium gold packs, 1 prime gold players pack, 500 qualification points and 5,000 coins. At rank 5, which only requires 20 points, you'll get 2 player picks, 1 premium gold players pack, 1 prime gold players pack, 1 jumbo premium gold pack, 500 qualification points and 10,000 coins. Now I'm not going to be going through all the ranks because you can easily see them for yourself, but the reason I went through these two is because these are the lowest ranks you can achieve. And if you're really not that bothered with Weekend League, or you're just not too good of a player, you can easily get to rank 5 by losing every single one of your games. Remember, 1 point for a loss, and you need 20 points out of 20 matches. So if you lose all your games, you'll still achieve rank 5. You just need to spend the time to go through each game. You could even forfeit them if you really want to. And it's also worth noting that these rewards are on top of what you've been able to get in the weekly division rivals and the Champions Playoffs. It's not the case of if you manage to get into the Champions Finals that you lose the reward you got into the Champions Playoffs because now you're going to get something a lot better. No, you're able to be rewarded from all 3 of them. So now that we have explained how FUT Champions works this year, let's actually get into some tips. I highly recommend, despite it being a massive complaint every single year, that you play sweaty. Every single other player that you're going to be coming up against is playing to win. This means that they're going to be using tactics which are overpowered. It means that they're going to try and frustrate you. It also means you may come up to some people who has the game plan of just getting lucky. Getting lucky to get 1 goal early on and then just sit back on ultra defensive and pass it round the defense. These are tactics that people will use against you, so I don't see any harm in you using the exact same tactics against them. People will complain, people might send you some rotten messages, but at the end of the day, they're going to be doing the exact same thing if they were in your shoes. So don't even second guess it, just play the way that you want to play to get the win. It's worth taking regular breaks when going through the Weekend League. This year is slightly better in that you don't need to play as many games. The Weekend League starts on Friday and will end Monday, and it will happen every single week. And in that time, you only need to play 20 matches, so if you average 5 a day, you're in good hands to finishing what you need to finish and actually trying to get the most out of your time with the rewards and ranks that are there. In previous years, you've had to play 30 matches, and when FUT Champions was first released, it was 40 matches within 2 days. So things have got a lot better for this year. You don't need to play as much. So if you go into a game and you come up to someone who does play sweaty and use some horrible tactics against you and frustrates you, at the end of that game, put it down to a loss. Doesn't matter because you are rewarded for losing, and then just take a 10-15 minute break and come back later. This gets you in the right mindset, whilst also if you close down your game and restart it, normally doing that actually helps the game perform slightly smoother. It's always been a thing in FIFA, and it's also a thing this year in FIFA 22. One mistake that I make every single year is trying to switch teams mid-competition. It normally happens right at the beginning of every single FIFA. I'll try out a team that's working really well for me in division rivals. Maybe I take that through other game modes and it feels like it's performing really well, but once I go into FUT Champions, I'm getting destroyed right at the beginning. The players that I'm coming up against are able to just pass through my defense, pull it into the back of the net, and I'm losing games 3, 4, 5-0 every single time. This is where I get frustrated and try to change my team, only for it to be a team that I've not practiced with. I've not learnt the playstyles of certain players, I've not learnt the custom tactics. Everything's on balance and it just makes it even easier for my opponents. Last year was the first year where I got into this situation and didn't change my team. I stuck with the exact same team throughout the whole weekend. And for the first 3 or 4 games, I really wasn't doing too well, but after that, I went on a winning streak and managed to go and bring it back. I don't think I would have been able to do that if I changed out to a completely different team. So whatever team that you're rocking, if it's been working well for you in other game modes, it will work well for you in FUT Champions. It's just that you're coming up to really good opponents. Don't panic and make a rash decision of selling every single one of your players just so you can get the coins to buy a completely different team. A team that you don't know is going to work for you. Before actually going into any of your Weekend League games, it's worth playing some warm-up games. You can play some warm-up games and FUT friendlies, or you can go division rivals. It doesn't really matter. You just need to play some games to warm up, and that's it. You don't want your initial couple warm-up games to be within the weekend league, because that's where you're most likely going to make some mistakes. It makes a lot more sense for you to get those mistakes out the way in a FUT friendly match or a division rival match. So once you go into FUT Champions, hopefully those mistakes are out the way, you've learned from them, and you can go on a winning streak right at the beginning. And the final tip for this year is to try to play all matches. It really doesn't matter if you go on a losing streak this year, because you will still progress forward and you're still able to achieve good ranks, as we've already mentioned. Losing 20 matches in a row, perfectly fine. You'll still get 20 points, which will get you to rank 5, where you're able to get player picks, gold packs, qualification points, and coins. Now, of course, you do not want to aim to lose every single one of your matches, but it's fair to say that you will be in situations where you might only need 1 point to reach a certain rank. And it might not even be the case of that you're aiming to get rank 5. Maybe you're aiming to get rank 3, rank 2, rank 1, and you're only 1 point away. If you lose that next match, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. At the end of the day, you've still managed to hit that rank. That's not a problem. I was actually in this exact same situation with the Champions Playoffs. I had 22 points with 2 games remaining. It would be nice if I was able to win both of those games, but even if I lost both of them, which I did, I still managed to qualify with 24 points. I still managed to hit rank 2. And I know that I'm not going to be the only person that was in that situation, and I know people are going to be in the exact same situation again come the weekend league. And the other reason that you want to play all your matches is because the reward payout is instant. This year, EA has removed the waiting period. Normally, you would have to go through FUT Champions, and after you've played all your matches, you would then need to wait a couple of days for those rewards to be added to your account. This year, you don't need to do that. As soon as you finish every single one of your matches, the rewards will be instantly added to your account. If you don't finish all 20 games, then you'll have to wait until the weekend league is actually over and it's expired. Once the event has ended early Monday morning, that's when your rank rewards will be added to your account and you'll have to open them then. But anyway guys, this is a quick introduction to FUT Champions. We've covered how to actually get into FUT Champions for the first time if you haven't done it already. And for those of you that are competing within the weekend league, we've also given some tips so hopefully you can win some more matches. If you do have any questions about anything, then please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going. So see ya.